Welcome back to Fight Capital, where we enter the ring of combat sports business. I'm your host, Ryan Rappaport. Today, I'm thrilled to sit down with Patrick Thomsen, a Muay Thai athlete turned trailblazing promoter who's at the helm of one of the fastest growing combat sports organizations in Europe, the Muay Thai for Life series. Transitioning from the ring in Australia to the bustling combat scene in Sweden, he's quickly become a revered figure in Scandinavia's Muay Thai community. His journey, marked by both triumphs and tribulations, comes ahead of his event for Muay Thai for Life this upcoming week. So I can't wait to explore his career in and out of the ring and what the future of Muay Thai is in a land where MMA reigns supreme. Thanks for being here today, Patrick. How are you and where are you joining from today?
Oh, thank you so much, Ryan. How are you? Thank you. How are you?
I'm really good. Thanks for being here. I know you're really busy ahead of the week and the big event coming up, but your background and journey is so interesting, where you were in Australia honing your skills to becoming a champion at Rajadamnern Stadium to launching Muay Thai for Life series in Sweden, obviously in a place where MMA is pretty popular. Can you just share some of those pivotal moments in your career that led to you to delve into promoting Muay Thai promotions and competitions?
Well, this is a journey that has been going on for about 20 years now, or maybe more. I started training martial arts when I was a teenager, just in the local gym, with some guys. Were no professional fighters at all, just some guys beating up on each other. Slowly but surely, I started training at a real Muay Thai gym. And when I joined the gym, I was kind of a tough guy coming from a you know no, not the worst neighborhood, but not the best either. If you know what I'm saying, I was, it was I could have easily been going on the wrong path at that time of my life. But when I joined the Muay Thai gym, I remember the first day when I went into the gym, and I was like, I looked at the guys, and like, to my inexperienced, very unhumble eyes, I saw these guys, and these were like PhD students. They were like, yeah, excuse my language, but they were nerds. I thought they were nerds, yeah. So I was like, yeah, I'm a badass guy, I'm from the hood, I'm gonna beat these guys up. But I got so much, yeah, I got beaten up so badly. So I was like, shit, I got humbled. I got beaten down to to a humble style. So from the Muay Thai gym, I learned morals, values, about dedication, and even though I was quite talented, talent only brings you so far. So through hard work and dedication, and how to value people and respect each other, I learned that Muay Thai gave me a lot of lessons. So after that, when I was 21 years old, I moved to Australia from Sweden, and at the time, this was the first time ever that I went on a plane. When I was younger, we didn't have much. Yeah, so we weren't poor or anything, but we weren't really well off either. So when I was 21, this was the first time when I went on a plane. So I went from Sweden to Australia to study at university over there, and I kept training Muay Thai in Australia. So for a short time, I trained with John Wei Parr at the Buncho gym. I tried different gyms in Australia. I remember the toughest gym that I went to was Nuggets gym. I don't know if you heard about Nuggets gym, but they were really hardcore guys, and yeah, I didn't train there a lot because their gym was also like way far from where I was staying. But slowly but surely, I joined Nathan Corbett's gym, Nathan Carnage Corbett. Oh wow, yeah.
I didn't wear, this is just one of my favorite shirts that I
Oh
happen to
wow,
wear
yeah.
all the time. Yeah. So shout out to Nathan Carnage Corbett, and
Yeah, he's an
great
amazing
guy.
guy. He's an amazing fighter, amazing person overall. And I did actually I fought for his team one time, and this was a great experience. So for a few years, I was studying in Australia. At the same time, I simultaneously I won the Swedish championships back home in Sweden whilst I was back home. So I was representing the Swedish national team, but I was studying in Australia, and I followed the national team all over the world. Like during these days, most of the championships were in Bangkok. One time we went to Korea, not North Korea, sorry, not definitely not North Korea, but we went to South Korea. Yeah. So So pivotal moments, like I remember like the first time I went to a big promotion, which was in 2006. This was the Swedish Muay Thai Championships. At the time, it was organized by Kasra Ashami, and he's at the time, maybe he still is, a very big promoter. He had a show called Rumble of the Kings and K1 Scandinavia. So he franchised K1 from Japan, you know, the legendary K1, the real K1, way back in the days, you know, with Wakao and Masato and Jerome Lebaner, those guys. Like, so he brought these guys over to Sweden, and so he was a very big promoter. And I remember when I stood in the arena, I was like, and I was about to fight, and I was like, wow, this is massive, this is huge, and in order to become a promoter, you have to be like, you know, you have to be a very well-off businessman. You have to know, you have to have connections, you have to have this and that. And it was kind of like, you know, how kids saying, I want to be an astronaut when I grow up, or I want to be the president, I want to live in the White House. I had the same kind of feeling, like yeah, no, it's just childish. You can't become a promoter. You can't live off fighting. So, but I love to fight, and not only did I love to fight, I had to fight. Fighters know what I'm talking about. There's something in you as a fighter, you just have to fight. And even though I'm not fighting in the ring anymore, I'm still fighting every day. Like the same mentality that I had, that I learned, I use as a fighter, disciplines like not giving up, keep going, work harder, don't give up. That's those same core values am I using now as a promoter, as an entrepreneur, really. So anyways, so if you skip forward, so I finished uni. I studied international relations, and as most kids studying international relations, everyone thinks they're going to be like UN ambassador, or like I was really expecting a call from like Kofi Annan or something, you know, as soon as I graduated. So once I graduated, I got a master's in international relations. I'm like, why isn't the UN calling me? They should know I'm graduated by now, you know. Yeah, maybe they missed. So, but then I realized, like, yeah, it's not that easy to just get a job after uni, and I kind of went back into fighting game. At this time, I wasn't fighting anymore, but I was coaching, I was managing fighters, and I got a job at the Swedish Migration Agency in Sweden, for the government, really. And honestly, it was the most boring job I ever had. So at the time, I was working for the government, and I was thinking, no, this is not really my thing. So I was thinking, what can I do? I was applying for different PhD positions, because I was thinking, as an academic, you still have creative. You know, you can be creative, and you can manage your own times and your own production levels and stuff. So in 2017 was the final Rumble of the Kings show in Sweden, in Partille Arena, the very arena where I'm producing my events now. And so I was coaching one of my fighters. His name is Philip, and there was a guy in the audience, sitting in the audience. I didn't know him at the time, and he wanted to make his own show. So this guy, he works with sales and marketing, but he has a massive interest in fighting. He had never done any fighting shows before. So he just contacted my fighter. I came along as a manager, as a promoter, not as a promoter, but as a coach at the time. So I met this guy, and we started talking, and we were like negotiating the purse for the fighter. And he was like, "Yeah, I give you 5,000." I'm like, "No, hell no, I want 20,000." This guy, he never had, like, my fighter, he never got it more than like 3,000 before. But I was just, you know, throwing out numbers, being just winging it, you know, just shooting from the hips. So this guy was like, "Yeah, what do you have any background in business, like in business, in marketing, sales?" I was like, "No, I'm into politics and fighting. Like I like international relations." So he was like, "Do you want to be the project manager for the show?" And I'm like, "Sure. Like, how much is the pay?" And he was like, "Yeah, this is the pay." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it right now." So I just took a chance, and I was like, I withdrew my PhD applications, and I took this job as a project manager for this show. And the name of the show was Bulldog Fight Night. And so this guy, he had, as I said, he had a massive experience in sales and marketing, and he loved fighting. I had none of those experiences. But I realized that after 20 years in the Hearth game, in the fighting game, I had a massive network from fighters, coaches, managers all over the world, and I knew things about the sport. Like I knew the fighters, I knew the coaches. So I realized that and I became a good matchmaker quite instantly. It's sort of saying, because I had in-depth, I had inside information on all the fighters. So I quickly learned that when you do matchmaking, you can't just look at the record. This guy has 70 fights. This guy has 70 fights. Hence, it must be an even fight. It's not that easy, because one guy might have 100 fights from Thailand, but maybe that was 10 years ago. Maybe I know he's going through some things in life, and maybe he just had a surgery. Maybe I know his friends, he's being lazy. I know he's partying too much, this or that, right? And then there's another guy on the record here who has like one or two pro fights. But I know he's dedicated. I know he works hard. I know he has the stamina. I know he has everything. So, and this kind of information is very important when you do in the matchmaking process, right? So, anyways, after that, I did 2 shows as a consultant for the fight night, and I realized that I can do this myself. I can learn marketing. I can learn business. I'm still very bad at accounting, but luckily I have some partners now. They're helping me out with that. Like in beginning, I was just, yeah, let's do this. Pay this much, please pay this much, and I was just shooting hips, and I was like, fuck, damn, I lost like some bucks.
Catching up to you, yeah.
And but no, it went pretty well, and like as I said, when I started this, it was right before COVID. I had some savings before COVID, but yeah, as for most people during COVID, was 2 years of not making any money at all. So all those savings went to rent and food and dog food and this and that, right? So yeah, but then I realized that I want to do this, and there was a lot of talk about MMA. Patrick, you should do MMA, right? But I love the sport of Muay Thai. Muay Thai has given me so much in my life. Like my whole life is about Muay Thai, really. So as I said, Round of the Kings in 2017 was the biggest promotion in Scandinavia at the time. But they ended their show, and they I don't know, they're not doing shows anymore. So there was a massive gap in the Swedish Muay Thai market, massive gap. So I saw the opportunity, and I was like, yeah, the time is now. The time is mine. I don't have money. I don't have this. I don't have this. But the time is now. I must do it. So, with that being said, I realized that, and I knew already that Muay Thai is a very entertaining sport, but it was not presented in the correct manner, because most Muay Thai promotions they have excellent fighters, they have good shows, but they are not investing in the production, in how you present the fighters. So I realized there were 2 key things, 2 fundamental things that you must have in order for the sport to grow. You must have excellent matchmaking. You must have a nice presentation, a good production, a solid production. And so that's what I did. I did my I focused on those 2 things overall: quality sports and quality production. Yeah.
And then here you are today. Well, I mean, just taking a step back a little bit, I mean, you fought in such a prestigious venue at a Rajadamnern Stadium. Must have been pretty exhilarating. Talking a little bit about the production standards and the matchmaking, how has that experience that you had influenced the way you organize and promote the events now?
Honestly, I fought one time at Rajadamnern, so I'm not gonna tell him I'm a solid ranked up Rajadamnern fighter, but yeah, I fought there one time, and it was an immense honor. I fought there in December 2005. I think I was the 3rd Swedish person in history who ever fought there. Another guy who fought there before was my childhood friend Chris Foster. He's on his own journey now. He's one of the most famous trainers in Thailand. He's at the Venom gym in Pattaya. I did my journey as a promoter, and he's on his journey as a coach. But in regards to being influenced from previous fights and such, like I think Rumble of the Kings was one of my greatest influencers because they did Muay Thai rules, but in a sort of a classic legendary K1 format with three rounds by 3 minutes and no Muay Thai music. No Thai music. So I'm a Muay Thai fanatic, and there's a lot of Muay Thai addicts out there. They want the classical, the traditional 5 rounds, 5 by 3, 5 3-minute rounds. They want the Thai music, and I love that as well. Really, I do. But in order to make the sport grow, you must compromise. You must look at like what does the general public want? Oh yeah, they want MMA, but I'm not going to give them MMA because it's my job to show them, to promote the sport of Muay Thai. And so I must convince them that the Muay Thai is as good as or maybe better than MMA or any other sport, right? Because it's entertaining. There's a lot of action. There's elbows. There's knees. There's blood, but also it's tradition. There are values. There are respect, humility. We don't have the trash talking shit about people's mothers and all that kind of stuff. We don't have that. Like when I have press conferences and weigh-ins, I don't have security guys standing. I'm not standing in the middle and holding them apart. Like we don't have stare downs really. We have. I'm trying to make up a term for this, but like I was kidding around with the idea in my head of we have Y downs instead of stare downs. Where this is a Y.
Yeah.
In Thai, this is how you salute each other in Thai.
Yeah, sign of respect. Yeah.
Yeah. So why this is a why. So I'm saying we don't have stare downs. We have Y downs. We why our opponents. So there's always smiling. There's respect. Everyone is like friends before the fight, but during the actual fight, there's no holding back. There's action. There's violence. There's blood. There's all these fighters. They give everything they have that they have. Yeah. And after the fight, they're best friends again. You know? They're sitting there after the fight. They're having beers together, having noodles or vegan burgers or whatever they want. You know. So yeah.
Well, as a Muay Thai practitioner myself, I've always been in love with the Thai culture, and as well as like the whole atmosphere around Muay Thai, the respect, the spirituality as well, the history, all of that just kind of plays into like a really amazing sport. And I'm glad to see people like yourselves that are helping proliferate that, because it's just like a wonderful way to train, live, and just be. And like you were saying, like it's all respect and love until those 3 rounds kick off, and they're doing as much damage as possible. It's always hugs and kisses and congratulations and bows and all that after. So it's one of the things I've always appreciated about the sport. But there's a lot I think that goes into that as well, and particularly I guess on the promotion side too, there's a lot of collaboration and broadcasting that needs to be taken in consideration. With the events being broadcasted live on DAZN, meaning the Muay Thai for Life series being broadcast live on DAZN, how do you see that relationship between the broadcasting platforms and combat sports evolving?
I think it's evolving rapidly, and I think it's amazing, and I think it's very important that more promoters think more in the long term, like because having a production it costs a lot of money to have a production, right? So, but when I started, it's like, well, how do you say, which came first, the chicken or the egg, right? Because I knew that I wanted to make big events, the best that I could do, and I would have the best kind of fighters that I could get. So how do I fill up the arena? Yeah, with great fighters. And there are two kinds of fighters that are mostly interested to promoters. All promoters have local fighters that draws the local crowd. And then there's a massive amount of fighters that are great fighters, excellent fighters. Like, for example, I'm in Sweden, right, in Gothenburg, Sweden. So, first and foremost, I want the best fighters in Gothenburg and Sweden. And then I want the best fighters in the world. Because, and there's a massive gap there, not a gap, but a massive amount of fighters. Like, there could be like French champions, Greek champions, British champions, American champions, North American champions, whatever. And they could have a massive amount of followers in their own countries or in their own cities, but if they're not known to the local crowd, it doesn't matter how good kind of fighters are. Like I could bring in the champions from Lupini or Rajadamnern. I don't know the names, but some random Thai name like Rajadamnern. He's ranked number 1 in Lumpini Stadium, and he could have like 400 fights under his belt. He could be one of the best fighters in the world. But if his name is not known in Sweden, then I must consider, like, will this guy bring in the money that I need to survive? Which sometimes, yes, I need this kind of guy, because these guys bring quality to the sports. They bring quality to the promotion. So but most promoters do is they only focus on the direct ticket sales. So I tried my best by investing, but look more in the longer term, with a good production, with good content, get a good reputation, get a good branding, with brand awareness, and this and that. So I did. So I quite quickly got a broadcasting deal with DAZN. And so before I was with DAZN, I was only on a pay-per-view platform. And once I moved from a pay-per-view platform to DAZN, which is subscription-based, excuse my English, the ratings went up with 7,000%. So in terms of my income wasn't better, but in terms of brand awareness and legitimacy and cred in the broadcasting world went up like immensely. So you have to look at different kinds of values, different kinds of incomes. Not only the money, but also brand awareness is a very important income as well. Reputation, all these kind of things, and most importantly, when the fighters come to the promo to the show, they must feel appreciated. They must be welcomed. They must like. It's not that I'm paying my fighters a lot more than other promoters do. Like, the standards are pretty much the same, but I'm doing my best to like put them in a nicer hotel or talk to them or just being friendly and like whatever I can do that I can afford, I will provide. But if someone asks me, I want $50,000 US, I can't do that, sir. I'm sorry, brother, but I can take you out for dinner. I can take you to my house. This is my dog. This is my cat. Because I'm like you, brother. I'm just a fighter. I'm not a mean, badass capitalist promoter that want to exploit people. I want the sport to grow, and so I'm trying to convince the fighters that like Muay Thai for Life series is something that's my vision is going to be big. It's going to be one of the greatest promotions in the world, but we have to build it together, so we're all family in the Muay Thai industry,
Well, and I think another important thing there too is to be able to help those fighters get on the international stage through DAZN's platform, which is over 15 million subscribers, I believe, and the quality of production and the reach, you don't get that in a lot of other places. So that's definitely important. I'm sure an important part of your platform. But one of the things that has stuck out to me is just kind of this like perpetual drive, and just to take it on like a little bit more of a somber notice. I know in 2019 it was a very tough year of personal loss for you, yet you've managed to channel your energy into creating something impactful in the combat sports world. How did that rough period of your life shape your vision for Muay Thai for life in the Lingnoi Productions?
Well, yes. As I said, I founded a company, Lingnoi Promotions, in 2018. So I started doing consultancy work for this other promoter. And then I got my own first gig from the Swedish Muay Thai Federation. So I produced the Swedish Muay Thai National Championships. So during 2019, well, my mom passed away in cancer, and she was diagnosed in 2018 or 17 actually. So from the moment that I started my journey as an entrepreneur and as a promoter, I dealt with a sick mother, and so I cared for her pretty much every day throughout the start of my business career. So she was sick with cancer, so I went to her place like 3 times a day. I gave her food, gave her medicine, I walked her dog, I took care of the cats, I came with her, I followed her on all her doctor's appointments. I went with her when she got her chemo, I sat with her. And so she said she was doing chemo, she was reading paper, and I was sitting next to her and working on the phone. And so, but when my mom was struggling with cancer, I was still fighting because I was fighting as an entrepreneur, but her fight was also my fight. Unfortunately, she passed away in April in 2019, and during this time I had a lot of business going. I had a Swedish National Championships. I had other shows that I did as well. In August in 2019, I did one show for Lion Fight in Sweden, and then I had another show at the end of 2019. So when my mom passed away, to be honest, I became a workaholic. I didn't think, I didn't mourn, I did nothing, because I was like, keep going, keep going, keep going. And my mom, she was a strong woman, you know. I grew up with her. She was a single mom. She raised us 3 kids. We had no father figure around. And I remember she actually passed away. She went to the, how do you say it in English? Palliative care. I don't know, her deathbed.
Yeah, we call it palliative care. Yeah, you said it. Yeah.
So on the morning, and I was doing consultants. I was doing another show in April 2019, and I was for Bulldog. So my brother my younger brother calls me up, and he's like, "Yeah, you gotta come now. You gotta say goodbye." And this was on the same day as the event, as the fighting event. On that event, we actually had Jerome Levaner from K1. We had a lot of different fighters on. So I just went, and I was a project manager. I had in charge of all the fighters and everything. But I just like, yeah, screw this. My mom is dying. I gotta go. So I went back home, and my mom was lying in her bed, right? And when I came into the room, she was like, she looked at me and she's like, "What are you doing here? Go back to work. I'll be here when we finish your work and come back. I'll be here." You know, my mom, it's gonna take like 15 hours before the show is done. I'm gonna be here. No, you go do your work and come back. I'll be here. You know. So because she knew how important it was for me to succeed as a promoter. She knew that it was my dream to become to put Muay Thai on the map. So she pretty much ordered me like, go back to work, like almost like I was slapped in the face. Yeah. I was like, yes, boss. So I went back to the show. I finished up the show. I came back to my mom, and she was like, "Yeah, how did it go? Good, yeah." So, and she was like, "Take care of the dog and take care of the cats. Now call the hospital." And that was like the last kind of thing that she said to me. You know? Mm-hmm. And
supporting you till the very end.
Yeah, she was supporting me and ordering me around to the very end. You know?
Yeah, well, that's a beautiful moment to have with her, though.
So, but yeah, it was. But at the moment, during this time, I couldn't stop because I was so high on success, high on succeed and becoming a promoter. So I just kept working throughout the whole year. And then COVID came, and I had to stop working. and I couldn't work, and there was nothing to do. I couldn't promote shows, and I couldn't even go back to becoming a coach because I couldn't coach anyone. So there was like, and all the jobs, but no jobs anywhere, and I'm like, shit, because I have some savings, but so I kind of hit rock bottom there, financially, emotionally, physically, because there was all, but I had a dog, I had my mom's dog, and so slowly but surely, like a lot of walks in nature, started to appreciate life, appreciate what we have, and I couldn't let go. I couldn't let it go. Like no, I want to put Muay Thai on the map. Like I want to show the world Muay Thai is one of the best sports in the world, and and I also wanted to create opportunities for young talents in Sweden, young fighters. Um, I wanted to build a platform for fighters to showcase their skills and to elevate. And so slowly, but and then and the idea came up with Muay Thai for life. Because I was thinking like when I named the promotion, a lot of promotion has like they have explosion, evolution, they have a danger and all this kind of so sometimes when I see fighting shows online or on social media, I'm like, okay, this is a cool name, like Universal Explosion, whatever. And I'm like, okay, so what is this? And then because I see two fighters, like, is this? And I have to look like sometimes that doesn't even show. It doesn't tell. I have to like click on it and say, oh yeah, this is a boxing fight, or this is an MMA fight, or kickboxing, K1. But I wanted the Muay Thai, the name Muay Thai, which is not my name, of course, it's the name of the sport, right? So I wanted people to know that when you come to my show, this Muay Thai is what you get. And the very best of Muay Thai is what I'm trying to give the world. Hence, so yeah, I was struggling with a lot of things, and then, but looking back, I'm grateful for that experience because, yeah.
Yeah, well, it's obviously, taking personal tragedy like that and then pressing, a hard stop on life which happened during the pandemic. A lot of people, had these moments where they were forced to stop, right? Because sometimes when you go through experiences like that, you're just heads down, trying to work through it. And then I think a lot of people were having to focus on themselves and their goals and their needs instead of just running 100 miles an hour. They're having to kind of stop and press and be introspective. But it's beautiful that you were able to take that moment and turn it into Lingnoi, or you already had Lingnoi Productions, but everything you were doing with Lingnoi and helping grow the promotion as well. It's just, I love hearing stories like that where people are able to take those moments and those hard moments and fight through them in the same way that I'm sure your mother was fighting the cancer as well.
Yeah. It's really experience for sure.
Well, you've had this, really amazing journey, and it really echoes the sentiment of something I read that you had said, which is, I might not have ended up where I intended to, but I ended up where I needed to be. And so, Patrick, what's next on the horizon for you, for Muay Thai for Life and Lingnoi Productions? Obviously, you have the event coming up here in this next week, but I would love to just tell the audience more about what you have coming next.
Yeah, so first and foremost, my next event is going to be on October 28th, next Saturday, live on DAZN. And the show is called Muay Thai for Life, Unite Against Cancer. So this show is produced in favor of the Swedish Cancer Society. It's a charity fundraising organization in Sweden, the biggest one of them all in terms of cancer, in donating money for cancer research. And I'm producing this event to honor my mother and to do something to give back to and to help people who are struggling with cancer. But first and foremost, this is I'm doing this show to honor my mother, and I want to raise awareness about this horrible disease. And I want that. I'm just a small time promoter, really. Like I'm not expecting to raise millions and millions of dollars, but whatever I can raise, that's my tribute to all the people getting hurt by this disease, and to honor my mom. Yeah. So I'm doing this event kind of also as an honor to my mom, but also as a final break, like not break, but a final the final stop on this journey, right? In the journey of the national Muay Thai life in Sweden. It's not set in stone yet, but the vision is that we expand internationally in the next 2 years. So now we're doing approximately 4 shows per year, but I want to double that production next year. I want to. I'm trying to. And so, and the vision is that Muay Thai for Life is going to be all over Scandinavia. And I actually had a few discussions with American people as well of bringing Muay Thai for Life over to the US. But I know this is in the future. You can't just build up a show in the US like that. So slowly but surely, I'm hoping that the US crowd is going to see my show on DAZN. We might also have a few minutes on United Fight Alliance, which is a show on NBC. It has like 130 million watches or something. And so slowly but surely, like I'm trying to build brand awareness in the US and throughout the world, so we eventually can expand internationally, and hopefully we can come to the US.
Well, the branding is on point to be a global organization, the Muay Thai for Life. You know, it's not Sweden Muay Thai or Scandinavia Muay Thai. So, you know, great thoughts on the forward thinking to having an international brand. And there's a huge gap. You know, I think Lion Fights, and even though one championship's doing a great job of displaying Muay Thai and other striking arts, it's not just Muay Thai, and people who appreciate the art and beauty and the ferocity of Muay Thai, I think, you know, there's definitely an international gap to be filled there. So, you know, really excited to see what's next for you, what's next for the promotion, for Ling Noi as well. You know, just for anyone listening, how can they find out more and continue to follow everything that's going on with you and Muay Thai for Life?
I think mostly on Instagram. We have Instagram accounts, Muay Thai for Life series. It's shortened by MTFL _series on Instagram. We are also on TikTok. We are on LinkedIn. We are on YouTube and Twitter. Our Twitter account is not so much alive because Twitter is more kind of a US thing. It's not very big in Sweden yet. But yeah, please follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and or just reach out to me if you want to talk about any ideas about the development of Muay Thai wherever you are.
I love that. And I'll make sure to share all those links in the description too, Patrick. Well, thank you for joining me from across the globe today. It means a lot to be able to have this conversation and spread the good work you're doing. Looking forward to watching the fights as well on DAZN, and can't wait for you to have a successful event with that.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Thank you so much for having me on the show, and good luck with everything that you are embarking upon.
Oh, you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.